session of the day before the Lumio party. I can't believe we're all coming to an end already. So you guys are here for Make a Splash, checking out unexpected ways to use tools that Lumio has to offer. Today we're really highlighting unexpected ways to use tools that are inside of Lumio. So we're not going to be doing sort of a how-to session. We want to just show you the possibilities and get your brain to start turning around the different ideas and what's possible. And we want you guys to be looking for and thinking about connections from your classrooms. We're going to share some ideas that we've gotten from teachers as well, some of our smart ambassadors and some other teachers that we've worked with. So we're really excited to kind of showcase what is possible. We have Dan and Jennifer in the chat as well, so they will be sharing all of your great ideas as you have them. So put those ideas in the chat. They'll also answer any questions that you have along the way. And I'm sure that they have some good ideas to share with us as well. So really quickly, before we jump into our session, I wanted to introduce ourselves. My name is Jervadnik, and I'm the North American Education Communities Manager for SMART. I am from the classroom I taught for 20 years before starting my job with SMART, and loved every minute of it. I was a K-5 Gen Ed teacher for a while. The last 11 years, I was a gifted and talented specialist working with K through 5. We had a pull-out program. And my hiking partner today, because you always want to hike in pairs or in groups, right? You don't always want to go hiking alone, or at least I don't. I like to be able to share. Is Jody Bean, one of my faves. So I'll let Jody introduce herself.
Hello, Casey. Now, Casey's coming from Texas, and I'm coming from the Pacific Northwest, where hiking is like in our blood. That's what we do. So you're going to get the feel of what we're doing today in just a second. But if you haven't figured it out, it has something to do with hiking, vacation, all of that. My name is Jody Bean. I am a senior professional development specialist with SMART. I have over 30 years of classroom experience, administration experience, and I'm also a university instructor here in Portland, Oregon. So my bucket is filled, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. So let's get this show on the road. So let's kind of tell you what we're going to be doing today. So as you maybe have figured out with our backgrounds, we're going to do a little bit of a hike today in our session. We're going to take a hike through Lumio, and we're going to discover all the unexpected ways we can use Lumio. So what you see is not what you always get. So when we're looking at these activities and different things that we're doing in Lumio, just start sparking your curiosity and figuring out what those ideas are all about. And we want to share them in a fun and an unexpected way using Lumio. So I want you to imagine the possibilities. So when we share with you an idea, we're hoping that it will spark another idea that maybe you can share later in the session. So we do want to have you contribute and also join in with us. So are you ready to go on a hike today? I am. I'm all ready for it. This is what I do when I go on a hike, except sometimes I have my walking sticks with me, Casey. So I think we're ready to pack it up and go on a hike.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the hike. If we can't do a hike with each other, Jody, personally, we can do it virtually, right? Here we are.
I think everybody has become like the virtual king and queens this last year. Like how can we convert everything that we were doing in the classroom into a virtual setting? But the good news is that I think some of us are able to see our students face to face. So everything we share with you today can be done face to face or in a remote setting. So Casey, what are we going to do first?
Well, first, in order for us to have you guys participate, and we need your active participation today, I need to have you guys join my session. So I'm going to pop out into the window how you can join today. So you're going to go to hellosmart.com, and you're going to join me as a guest. You'll enter class ID 11311, and you can enter your name, you can enter your superhero name, whatever you want is fine with us. What I'm going to do right now in just a second, I'm going to hit the start button, and you're going to get to choose which category in the shout out you want to respond to. So one of the things that I like to think about a lot when I'm teaching is student choice, because I feel like the more choices we give students, the best we can get from them. So this is using one of a differentiation strategy I like to use a lot called Sternberg's Tribe Mind strategy. And basically you give your students 3 ways to respond: analytically, creatively, or practically. So and you can use this in all different kinds of ways. So today you're going to get to choose to either explain the benefits of hiking, so thinking about analyzing the benefits of hiking, or you're going to get to be a little bit creative and create an alliteration about hiking, or you're going to start to share with us, be more practical, share those essentials, those things we must have when we go on a hike. Now, you are welcome to share to all three categories if you'd like, but you can choose just to respond to one. So, building in that student choice of choosing which category to respond to. I'm going to start you guys off, and you should be able to start putting in your responses. You should see a little white box that pops up for you where you can start typing. Right below that white box will allow you to choose which category you want to throw your answer in. So if you're going to do the analytical benefits, you're going to add there. You're going to share the creative alliteration, you're going to share there, or the practical essentials, you'll share there. You guys can see we're starting to have some people responding and sharing their ideas into the different categories. I hope someone will be brave enough to come up with an alliteration about hiking. Someone, right? Here we go. Sandy saw some silly snake on the side of the sea. Love that.
Nice. I love that. You know, Casey, can I just, as people are entering this, I love this unexpected way to shout it out because if you're familiar with shout it out either in Notebook or in Lumio, a lot of times we can do just a whole random category. But this way, it's like, hey, we're giving our students choices. They only have to pick one of the drop down menu. Not all three of them, or not two of them, or one of them, but they get to pick which category they want to do. So that's kind of the unexpected way to use shout it out. And also, of course, the different visuals. Now that we can add the backgrounds, it's endless what you can add to the back of a shout it out now, right, Casey?
Absolutely. I love that you can add those different backgrounds and really personalize them for sure. And I think, think about your exit tickets. A lot of times we'll ask the same question for everyone. What if we gave different opportunities and let kids kind of drive what made the most sense for them? So I love a few answers. Great exercise and a great way to get fresh air. Meditation, sport, and health. It's fun. That's another one. Absolutely. Physical movement, healthy for mind and body. We have a bunch of things needed: good footwear, water, hiking boots, hot sunglasses, hat, shorts, all of the things. And then I love seeing some of these come in.
Look at these alliterations.
I know. Look at them go. So we have a variety of different ones. Walk with Wonder. I love that one. Henry hiked high on the hills. Healthy hiking high in the hills. Fantastic. So when you're using shout it out, remember to add that student voice, that student choice element, giving them ways to reflect and share as we're moving through. All right, so that was a little icebreaker to get to know and kind of get our brains starting to move and thinking about this hiking trip we're taking today. Now let's jump into our first trail. So when we're going through a hike, Jody, we have decisions that we have to make on a regular basis, right?
Absolutely. And so right here, what we're going to have you do is see that little flower on the bottom right here. We're going to make it into a collaborative workspace where we're going to put everybody on the same page. And what you have to do is you got to decide if you want to take the Sunshine Trail or if you want to take the Infinity Trail. Now, we're not going to tell you what's behind the door. We're just going to say, just go with it. Like if you want to go with the Sunshine Trail or the Infinity Trail. So I'm going to go ahead and make it into a collaborative workspace. And we're going to have a choice here. We're going to put everyone on the same space.
This is your way to vote.
This is your way to vote. And that little flower, go ahead and put it on the hillside on which trail you would like to go today.
Let's see where we're going to land.
Wow, a lot of sunshine trails going on. Oh, I don't know.
This is sunshine trails.
Yep.
Oh, it's making it hard. We need a few more votes in place so you can see where we should go. What do you think, Jody?
Gosh, I don't know, Casey. I'm thinking it looks like we're going to be doing the Infinity.
I know. Sunshine Trails is off to an early start, but I think that we're going to go to the Infinity Trail. So
all right, let's do it.
Infinity Trails, that's what we're going to land on. I love this one. So let's pop down to Infinity Trails and talk about unusual ways to use our manipulatives.
I love this. So here is a different way of looking at making words. This is one of our ready-made manipulatives that you can find in our ready-made content. And what we did differently here is, you know how every teachers sometimes will put up on the board, hey, if you can meet this goal, every time you do it as a class or a small group, you get to add a letter and it will spell something or have some sort of treat, right? Casey, we got that. This is just another way to do it in a virtual setting. So if you are, you're bored, I know about my whiteboard on the wall, it gets filled up so quickly with different things on here. This is just one way that you can take the making words into a different a direction. And so what we did here is we added a line, and then with the infinite cloners, this is just an example of what you could do. Let's reach our goal together. And as a whole class, is ready to learn when the bell rings. Let's see if we can get on target, written in our planner, put our binders away, and then make sure that you have the necessary materials on your desk. That every time I see as a teacher, I can go ahead and do the letter below. So like if I wanted to add, oh, good job, everybody, I'm going to go down and grab that E down there and put it up on the board just because they're all infinitely cloned objects on there. So that's just an example of how you could use Mystery Motivator. Casey, do you have any other ways to use Mystery Motivator?
I mean,
Or the
I just
making words?
making words is one of my favorites from the manipulatives because I think there's a lot of ways that you can adapt and use it. It doesn't have to be only for your students to actually make physical words as part of a lesson. So I love that. I know that and not just this particular manipulatives, you can be really creative with a variety of them. I know that we were talking the other day about one of our smart ambassadors,
Mm-hmm.
Gail, who shared with us a lesson that she did, and we were really surprised with how she used pattern blocks because she does not teach. She does not teach the younger grades, so we were surprised when we saw pattern blocks in her lesson. So, Joe, do you remember what she did with it?
Yeah, she did. So what it was is that she took the pattern block manipulatives that are also in the ready-made content, and then she used all the different shapes and had her students come up with their sequencing and looping for coding. And then she posted it on Twitter, which was really fun because if we see those types of activities, it gets our juices flowing and it gives us other ideas, right? Sparks other ideas. And so Gail had that, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I never thought of using pattern blocks for sequencing and loops in coding. So I love that idea. Put in the chat any ideas or write down some ideas of what you can think of using, maybe another way of using the mystery words. Jennifer, I know that you've used mystery or you've used the making words using, I think, acronyms, or what have you done, Jennifer? She might be busy in the chat right now.
Want me to add it to the chat or just share that we can make,
Yeah.
you can
Sure.
use acrostic poems, you can use the making words for all kinds of maybe ending sounds. Some great things in the chat right now is maybe customizing them with some Spanish letters to be able to really adapt and use for the Spanish class that they're teaching. So lots of great stuff in the chat too.
Keep it coming. Thank you, Jennifer. I love that.
Yeah.
And just so you know, this is something that a lot of people don't know is that the manipulatives, and if we have any secondary teachers on here, so you can go into the different manipulatives and actually change up the infinite clone. So if you want to change them, like and you have to be in editing mode to do it, but you can actually change the different infinite clones that you want to have for your class. So that's something a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, and so even with some of our younger students, you can actually take some of the letters away and really help them. Maybe you're only wanting to work with the short E sound or the short A sound. You can actually get rid of all the other vowels, for example, and have them build maybe CBC words, things like that too.
I love that.
So lots of fun ways to use the tools.
Love it, love it, love it. So I keep the chat going and get your ideas in there. But I think we're ready for another trail.
I think so. Let's hit another one. So this time you're going to be choosing between trail mix and hidden falls. So trail mix or hidden falls, and this time we're deciding by moving the hiking boots to the correct not you're correct, but the one you want to vote for. So again, I'm going to quickly make this a collaborative workspace. I'm going to put all of us into the same space. So one of the nice things about Lumio is that I can automatically, because I'm set to teacher pacing, as soon as I move to a new page, I'm taking you guys along with me so we can get started.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of people coming in already for Hidden Falls.
I love it.
Hidden
thinking,
Falls.
Yeah. Look at that.
Like
Hidden.
it.
I just like the name Hidden Falls, right? We actually have a waterfall near me called the Hidden Falls. So it's not too far from me. I love it.
All right. Well, I think people have spoken. It looks like Hidden Falls is getting the numbers. So we're gonna jump into Hidden Falls and talk about how we can use Flip Out. So the first time, I know Jody and I have talked about this, the first time I saw Flip Out as a game, I was like, oh, okay, flashcards. I get it, you know. I was like, I know what flashcards are. I've used them with my kids, you know, practicing, you know, things like math facts and whatnot. But I really wanted to think about, what does this mean in my classroom? And one of the big focuses I had with my kids was about student choice and students being able to sort of personalize their learning. And so I tried to add an element of choice to everything that I did. And so one way that I did that was leveraging Flip Out in this way. So when you hit start on Flip Out, instead of it being flashcards where we're practicing vocabulary and definitions or math problems and their solutions or things along those lines, instead we give our students different choices. So here I might give my students 6 choices and they get to pick 1 or 2, depending on what my expectations are, for them to complete. And so if you flip over each of the cards, you'll see that we have a variety of different things for our students to do, like create an art piece using organic materials from nature and give it a title, or creating a map to treasure you have hidden, or reinvent the tent. What would you add or change to make the tent even better? And to create a model of it. And research something that sparks your curiosity. Create a video about it. Write a story about your hiking adventures from your backpack's perspective. Or create a Venn diagram comparing yourself to something in nature. One thing that I do, and I think Jody, you and I, we've talked about this before, is when we're creating those different choices, we try and make sure that we're hitting things that different students would connect to, so that everyone feels like they have something that allows them to show what they're strong and masterful at. Everyone is masterful at something, right?
Right.
If I was comparing myself to my son in regards to video games, I'm not going to fare well. But I have other things I'm really talented at. So, you know, looking at our kids and thinking about that. What do you have to add on, Jody?
Well, I love the idea, because we were actually having this conversation in the unconference session about differentiation, and the flip out cards came out, and you can see that there's a lot of different STEAM activities that you can add, and students are are able to have those choices. I also love the idea that if you flip over one of the cards, Casey, that you can add your own images, and think about it. Maybe one of the cards is your directions, or you add audio to it, right? You can have one card say directions and then flip it over, and then the directions are right there. The other thing that is really great is that as you can see, you can have different images, but you also can make these into different task cards. Maybe you have groups that are supposed to just do the odd numbers, and then there's another group that's supposed to do the even numbers. But there's just such a variety of ways of taking the flip out from just doing vocabulary definition to really making it rigorous and choice and voice with our students.
One other way that I like to use, I think I honestly, I'll say that when I first started using Lumio and I was thinking about Flip Out, I was not that excited about that game when I first jumped in, and now it's probably one that I use almost all of the time, almost every lesson. And not just for choice boards. One other way that I like to use it is as a hook to get kids ready or excited about some new topic that we're studying. So for instance, I might put different clues. And so it'll say clue 1 on the front, and on the back, it'll have a clue that's going to lead them to understand what we're focusing on. So perhaps we're talking about water and how it can be in the different states of matter. So I might give a hint that ooh, it can be so cold, or it could burn, or it's like sizzle. It can heat me up. And so each clue, as they turn it over, the kids would have to make different predictions and start thinking about things. And they might have to change their prediction with more information that they gather through each clue until the end. They would maybe hopefully discover that we're talking about water, and that we discover more about the states of matter in regards to water. But Flipbout's not the only game that has some creative ways to use it. I don't know. Dan's too busy in the chat right now, but he shared with us a great idea for our rank order game, which is also one of my favorites. So Dan, I don't know if you're open to being able to come off mute and share with us your rank order idea you had the other day.
Oh, the breakout one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had this epiphany of I used Breakout EDU back in the past, and we have all these different programs we like to use. And I thought, oh, we could use rank and order to basically be the combination lock that you would use in a breakout, like those breakout boxes or even the online version. And so you could really customize your own. So my next fun task I'm going to do as a side project is to create a little template and try it out. So it's just fun to come up with new ideas for how to use these different activities.
Well, now everybody needs Dan's contact information, so when he creates it, he can send it out to us, because that's the best idea, Dan. I love that idea. But there's other ones, right, Casey? Like, not only do we have rank order and flip out, but label reveal, I feel, is like an underappreciated kind of game. How do you use it, Casey?
Not agree more. So label reveal is one that I think that does not get enough love. And there's so many different ways I think you can use label reveal. I think, obviously we can use it to reveal, like, oh, here's this, part of the cell, or here's, if we're looking at the cell, here's the cell wall, here's, all the different parts and pieces. But I really like it. One of the things that I did with students is I had the map of the United States, and we were working to understand where the different states were on the map and learning more about the setup and things like that, and learning more about the states themselves. So I actually had clues about each state. So I might, have one that has produces the most apples in the United States, and the kids could go do that research to figure out what state that was and kind of fill in their map, so they could have their paper map in front of them, the label reveal on their device, and they do that research and then start filling in their map, and then they use that to help with their geography and better understanding of where the different states were on our US map. It would be great for globally too, if we did a world map or different continents, to practice with the continents as well. What about you, Jody?
I think one of my favorite ways of using label reveal, is I have an image of a tic-tac-toe board, and then I put the tic-tac-toe image in label reveal, and then I will add a different label for each one of the different spaces of activities that they have to do it. And then I put the students in partners in the classroom or even virtually, and they have to pick which space they want to do, click on it, and then do that activity. So like it's a task card or something to do with a unit of study. But it's really fun because it's random, right? Like, I'm going to go in the upper left corner, and Casey, you're going to do the bottom. And of course, you still want to try to get the tic-tac-toe, but it's using it as a label reveal. And so the kids are playing it, but they're also learning the content that is under their fingers. So that's how I like to use label reveal.
I used to use tic-tac-toe a lot when I taught first grade for like their homework, and they could choose which row they wanted to complete. So I could do that virtually with Lumio. Have my tic-tac-toe board up, and they could click on the different labels and choose which tasks to do. Awesome. I love that idea. Any Jennifer or Dan, any fun ideas about using Flip Out or any of our other games in a unique way in the chat before we move on to our next trail?
The last one I think would be, and you may have mentioned this now, is moving the cards to put them in a certain order. So having them move the cards. A lot of people don't go and try to move the flip cards and realize they're actually movable. So you could use them for coding and setting up what they would use to solve a coding problem, or putting, counting for early learners and putting them in order from highest to lowest. The planets, distance from the sun, all those kind of fun activity ideas.
And that really made me think. There's one of our smart ambassadors did a great I think she was a pre-K and then a kindergarten teacher. She worked with both grades depending on the year, and she actually used these to help her students know what their directions were, what they needed to do first, next, then last as they were coming in, and they would move their card as they completed each task. So that was really great as well. Or just teaching them the sequences of things they wanted them to accomplish in the day when they unpacked and stuff like that. They might be part of their morning meeting or things like that. So I thought that was a fantastic idea as well. All right,
Awesome.
I think it's time to head off to our next trail. And let's see where we land in this trail. So again, this time we're going to fill the hillside with some trees. I wish we could plant trees as easily as you guys are about to, right? So I'm going to make this a collaborative workspace so that you guys can start voting on either the reflection trail or on the Animal Crossing trail. Oh my goodness, Animal Crossing's already up there.
That's awesome.
I mean, the Animal Crossing is a really fun idea, and it came again from another teacher. We did not come up with this idea ourselves, but Jody and I quickly stole it and are planning to use it often and frequently.
Yes, and I'm so excited to share it. And I'm going to give kudos to Liz Zielinski. She's one of our smart ambassador who came up with this idea. So we're going to give credit where credit is due, but I'm sure she would love for you to see all of this. So let's go ahead and do it.
It looks like the Animal Crossing is winning. Apparently, people like to go to the right, to the right every time. All right, so let's go check out what we have with our Animal Crossing. So we're going to talk about this in two parts.
All right. This is so much fun.
I'm not the right one. Oh, okay. You know what? Hold on. My bad. Hold on. Now I'm kind of revealing ahead of the schedule, but we'll pretend. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. You didn't see me. You don't see me doing this. My bad.
That's okay. You're good. All right. While she's doing this, I'm going to tell you how I set this up, just so you know. So I created this inside. I always use Google Slides, and I also use Lumio. So they kind of live together in my world. So I put together this page where I added different animals. And what my students have to do is they're going to go and erase the different animals and reveal from delivery mode. So I'll show you how to do this right here. And I just got to point out, because I'm in Oregon, so there's an Oregon slug, and then Casey's in Texas, so there's a wild boar. So I'm just saying that we had to put some of our local famous animals when we go hiking. These might be the animals that you might come across when you are hiking. And so the way to do this and to create it is to get your page ready, and then make sure every image is locked down. And then you have to go into delivery mode in Lumio. And you just go up to the pen tool, and then you click on it, and then make sure you're at the largest, the biggest fat one, right? And then I kept my background just white, but whatever your background is, you can use it. Like I could put them behind grass, like I could scribble in something that looks like grass, and then you're just going to start scribbling and covering up your different images right here. And as you can see, we're just going to cover up just the animals. And once you are that done, then you're ready to present it with your students. You can decide if this is going to be an individual workspace, or individual handout, or a collaborative workspace. And in this case, I want my students to do it in an individual handout. So you get the idea. What you're going to do is erase it. When it's time to reveal with the students, you're just going to convert it into an individual handout. Notice on the right-hand side, these are different unusual facts. So as you erase, as students are erasing the different animals, then you can then go, oh, which one of these facts would fit that animal? front teeth never stop growing. They're omnivores, long, sticky tongue. And so then you can check in with your students to see what kind of learning. Now, when Liz did this, the Smart Ambassador, she did a dinosaur unit and she had different puzzle pieces of a dinosaur. And then the students had to go on a dig, and she had them covered up with brown pin, and then students were taking the eraser and revealing the different pieces of the dinosaur puzzle, and then they put together the dinosaur puzzle, and then they knew that they were going to be studying dinosaurs. Isn't that just so fantastic? So thinking how you could use eraser and reveal, go ahead and try it.
So what I did on the back end while Jody was talking to you guys, I did a little magic and went to a page that was set up the way it was supposed to be for you guys, and I converted it to a handout so each of you have your own copy. So now you can open your page and click your eraser. I recommend pulling out that thicker eraser, and now you can start moving it on your page to reveal the different animals. And then you can use the mouse, the hand tool to drag the different facts to go with the animal that you think it does. And what's fantastic, as Jody said, is I can actually come in and check on each of you guys in real time. So if I want to see how Gretchen is doing, I can open up and see, oh, she's busy. She's gotten all of her animals erased. Now she's busy dragging and dropping her different facts around, which is really cool. I can come in to continue to check on. Let's see how Nicole says she's done. Let's see how Nicole is doing. Nicole still has some work to do. Notice she unchecked. So I've seen her. I know that she wasn't finished. I could even write a little message to her as a teacher. I can give her that feedback. Let's see who else. Sarah says she's done. Let's see if she's truly done. Oh, look at Sarah.
Let me give her a digital sticker.
I think so. I'm going to give her a digital sticker. So I can pop out as a teacher right here, and I can either select images that I have already saved on my computer of digital stickers, or I can also do a little Bing search. I want to tell her great job, so I'm going to search for great job. And here's a great one. I think I'm going to use this guy. He makes me smile. So I can add this to Sarah's page. I can even give her a little message. Maybe I want to differentiate this. So now I want her to research and find one new fact about each animal. So you can differentiate for your student. So if you have a student that is ready for the next step, maybe have them go and do continued research on each animal and find out more information. And I can even lead a specific link. So if I want to guide my students to a particular website, I could do that as well. For a student that maybe isn't ready to go research, perhaps I could have them write some sentences about their favorite animal, or maybe label each animal with what the animal is called. So there's lots of fun ways that you can level this up with that information, with that ability as a teacher to kind of give that direct feedback as well.
I love that. Another idea I was just thinking about, and then we're going to move on and have, I see a lot of things happening in the chat. This is not a game. This is actually created from a blank page. And so it's not like one of the games that we have in a ready-made content. So this one was one that we created. Think about how you could, just kind of like that mystery motivator that we shared earlier with making words. You could actually do this where you're unveiling and erasing a letter, and students have to do it as a whole group, right? Like they can go in there and then someone erases that letter and then they find out what the unit of study is all about. Or I've seen it where you put one picture and then a student will erase a corner of it and then they have to take guesses of what it is. So, but this is just another example of how you can kind of do something unexpected inside of Lumio.
Any responses in the chat, Dan or Jennifer, that you want to share out with us?
Everybody loves this. They are so excited, talking about how it encourages students' sense of curiosity. Some great examples. Let's see, let me scroll. There's been so much in the chat. Lots of definitely just wow. Let's see. Most of the examples I see go back up into the games from before, but definitely everybody loves this. I think being able to turn any page into a handout and add those interactive elements and be able to reveal or use infinite cloner,
Hmm.
it's just wonderful.
And
I
one thing
love
to
that.
kind of do, and we're gonna, I think, Jody, I'm looking at our time, and I think we're gonna be able to do a couple of things. I think we're gonna be able to first get some great ideas from you guys all saved onto one space, because I think it'd be great for us to have as an artifact to share in our resources where you can see
Hmm.
everyone's ideas. But then I think we're gonna actually have time to vote on learning how to build at least one of these ideas that you saw today. Because with Lumio, we can do it so fast and quickly and easily. I think we could sneak in as a minute to show you the how of
Hmm.
one of these ideas. I will say before we get into that next spot, Jody built this page in Google first. So the things that she added after, where she added the text. So anything that you're going to want to have be movable, then you want to add it once it's in Lumio. But things like the directions, the animals already could be added ahead of time. But then anything that we're going to actually want our kids to move and manipulate, those are the pieces that we want our students to be able to, that we want to add once it's imported into Lumio. So if you have a particular way you like to build in PowerPoint or Google Slides, or even if you have a PDF that you want to use and add some movable pieces to that PDF, you can do that by importing and then adding that content, those images, that text once it's in Lumio. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly, I really want to learn more about your ideas, and I want to have them sort of in our space so that we can share them out with you guys so that you can reflect back next time. So we're going to come to this page, and I'm going to just remind you of 3 things that we focused on today. So the first thing that we talked about today was we went in and we looked at how what was the first thing that we did?
The graphic organizers and
Graphic
manipulatives.
organizers, yeah, using graphic
Manipulatives.
organizers. Thank you. Using graphic organizers in creative ways. So that using that manipulative, and using that making words in a way that we wouldn't anticipate or expect. Then the second thing that we looked at is we looked at flip out directly, but we also talked about just in general, we started brainstorming some things with games. I'll add flip out, but any of our games you guys can use in different and unique ways. I always encourage you guys, look at them from the lens of what you're trying to accomplish with your students. That's what happened with me when I looked at flip out when I was thinking about student choice. I looked at it through that lens and that flipped things around for me. So think about it from that lens. Don't think about it when you see the examples. You're in charge of what your content is. Then erase to reveal was another one that we did, which erase to reveal, you have to do the coloring part when we're in real time. So at this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a workspace, and I would love for you guys to share your ideas, how you would use some of these tools with your students. So I'm going to make this a workspace. We're going to hopefully have lots of ideas captured here so that we can share them out with you guys. Oh, I didn't think about using flip outs for check-ins or attendance. That's a great idea. Ooh, chapter reviews for erased.
I love that.
That's a great idea because that's something that definitely could work with our secondary levels too. I mean, this works for all grade levels because it's what's behind how you're setting it up content wise. I love.
Look at these ideas. We're gonna take some of these. Love this.
Yeah, definitely. I love that this or that. I like that idea. I was saying, I think it was Caitlin Tucker that I was reading her blog post about differentiation and choice boards and how sometimes they can be overwhelming for teachers when they're first getting started. And so she did a would you rather. So would you rather work alone or would you rather work with partners? Would you rather create an assignment digitally or using the art supplies? I loved that idea of giving those students that would you rather idea that we could simplify those choice words. And that kind of goes to me with that this or that idea.
Look at you. Yeah. This is great.
These are really fantastic ideas. I can't wait to take some of these and put them into action. Ooh, do backwards answer and questions. Yes, I love that. Reveal the body parts for Spanish. That would be fun. These are great. All right, so we have just a few minutes. I'm going to have us do a quick vote on what we want to learn how to make. So your options are we can either teach you how to make that mystery motivator with the graphic organizer, or we can teach you how to make a flip out choice board, or we can teach you how to do erase to reveal. You can choose one of those three options. I'm going to do one of my other favorite things within Lumio. So on my left side as a Lumio user, I have a little plus button on the left side, and it allows me to do two things. One, I can create a quick instant shout it out, so great for check-ins with your students. Or I can quickly give my students a whiteboard that they can use as well. And that's what I'm going to do here. So this is like me having my mini whiteboards I would pass out, and I had to pass out the Excel markers and crayons and all of those types of things. But now I'm going to be able to instead convert this white space and let you guys share your answers. So you are either going to add a 1 because you want to learn how to do the mystery motivator, a 2 if you want to do a flip out choice board, or a 3 if you want to do the mystery motivator. You can either use your pen tool, the text tool, or you can even search for a number in just a moment to add your vote. So I'm going to make this a collaborative workspace once again.
So 1 is for the mystery reveal, 2 is for flip out, and 3 is for the erase and reveal.
Yes, 1 is for mystery motivator with the graphic organizer, 2 is the flip out game choice board, and 3 is for erase to reveal. You can just type, write, or find an image of a number to go in. So if I want to learn how to do the mystery motivator, I can search for the number 3 and add it really quickly. So let's see. Yes.
Casey, in the chat, we have a couple people voting for mystery reveal or erase and reveal, and then 1 for mystery motivator.
All right, so let's add them to the chat. So you said a couple for 3.
Mm-hmm. So we're running out of time, Casey.
So let's go. All right, so it looks like number 1, right? Or what are you thinking? So you move along really quickly. Let's go with, I'm thinking, well, now 3 looks like it's coming in 3. Should we do 3 or 1? Jody, your call.
Let's do 3 really quick because it's already in the file.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do right quickly is I'm going to click on this end lesson here. I should have gone just to editing mode, but I'm going to go to editing mode, and we'll do this in real time.
So you should all be looking at our session now on the screen, because you won't be able to see anything through the Hello Smart.
Yeah, so you were just exited out of my session because I am in editing mode. The great thing for our students is it doesn't matter if I go into, when I go back and start this, they'll be brought right along in. So you guys can leave that screen for right now. Now I'm going to show you really quickly. I'm not going to use Jody's. We're going to do a really quick version of this. I'm going to click this plus button. And you could certainly import a Google slide, which is what Jody did. I'm going to instead use this new page to build my my erase to reveal. So here I'm just going to add some words, and we'll duplicate. I'll do a couple of different words. Let's do tiger, and we'll do, hopefully I'm not seeing a tiger on the trails though. That would be scary. I don't want to run into a tiger on the trails. Okay, and then I'll do 1 more. So right now I'm just adding some words. And let's see.
Now the trick is, while she's adding words, I just want to share with you, the trick is in Lumio is that you have to know the color of your background. So I purposely keep mine white just because it's easier to find the white pen tool when I go into delivery mode to do this. The other really important thing is that when you add anything onto your space right here that you want to erase, you probably want to lock it down in place, because as students are moving it or trying to do it, one of them is going to like move it around. So locking it down onto the workspace where you want it is also beneficial. All you have to do is click on the text or the image. You'll get that little drop down menu on the right hand side in the upper corner. and then you can just go ahead and lock it down. Now, the good thing is that it's not permanent, so you can unlock it if you need to. But notice that Casey's adding text and also images, and that looks really great. Casey, I think we're ready.
I think we're ready. So, as Jody said, in order for us to be able to do the erase reveal, I actually have to open this in delivery mode. So, I can't just leave it in editing mode because I don't have that pen tool. So, I'm going to hit finish editing, and I'm going to open that back up. I'm going to hit start to start that activity. And now, if you guys are still in hellosmart.com, you can see me doing this in real time as well. Here we are on the page. So at this point, if I want to cover up those pictures, I'm going to click on that pen tool. I'm going to make it extra thick. I'm going to click on the 3 dots because I need to have a white because that's the color of my background. So I can use the color wheel to do that. Now I'm going to choose that color, and now I can come in and I can cover up and hide all of my pictures for my students. So you can just scribble around it, and that gets the pictures hidden, and that will allow your students to be able to erase reveal. The last step you have to do in this situation is that you do have to allow your kids to have access to this activity. Right now, they would not have an eraser tool. If you look on your side, if you are still connected to hellosmart.com, you are not seeing an eraser for you to be able to use. I have to convert this page in order for that to happen. So I can do that on the fly in real time, or I can do that by hitting editing mode. In this case, I'm going to click those people and make it an individual handout right now. You can now hit the start button and you'll have that eraser tool so that you can actually start to erase and work with that content, which is really great. So you can see it's a pretty simple process to build that erase reveal, and there's tons of ways that you can do it. You guys are listing a lot of different ways ahead of time. So there's lots of options there. Pretty exciting.
Love it.
All right, so just a few things to kind of odds and ends to close. One of the things that we'll let you know is you're going to have access to this full file. So if for instance, we did not take you through how to use a different tool like this graphic organizer where we have infinitely coned eyes, and this could be a little brain break of things that your students can see as they look out their window, things like that. We have this full file that we'll be sharing with you guys on our EduRefresh resources page so that you guys can see other possible ideas that we did not cover today that were on the other trail, the left trails that you guys didn't want to go down. And the other great thing is that Jody and I are here to share ideas and learn from you guys as well. One of the things that I really want to point your attention to, and then Jody's going to go over our challenge for you guys, is the Smart Ambassador program. We hope that you guys will apply to become a Smart Ambassador. It's not about being experts in Lumio or in smart tools. It's about being a passionate teacher. And Jody and I mentioned several times that a lot of our ideas came from the teachers that are part of this ambassador community. We learn so much from them on a regular basis, and they learn so much from each other. It's a global community, so I really recommend that you guys apply today. We would love to see you, see your faces and see your names show up there so that you can share with us the great ideas that you have and the great lessons that you build. So Jody, you and I, because we're teachers, we cannot end a session without leaving an assignment.
That's right. We need to have some actions, right? Some call to actions. So this has been a really fun and engaging ideas. We have collected so many great ideas from all of you, and we appreciate that. We are going to take a snapshot of that page that you all contributed on of the different ideas. So look forward to that in the next couple days when you go into each of the different sessions that you have been in this session here. So here's our challenge for you. We'd love for you to try all 3 ideas by the end of the first semester if you can. We know that there's so many things going on, but we would love for you to try using those ready-made templates, such as the manipulative, as a mystery motivator. Think in different ways outside the box to use the graphic organizers. We also would love for you to try a flip out as a choice board or a rank order to get students to take a stand on a certain topic that you might be discussing. And of course, check out all the other different ways. And then look at the delivery mode. Use that whiteboard to do a quick check-in with students, or use a pen to create an eraser reveal like we did. There's so many different possibilities, and sometimes it just takes that little spark from somebody else to get your creative juices going. The other beautiful thing about Lumio is that we do have a wonderful social media presence. And so when people are sharing their ideas out there, you can actually add your Lumio you can actually add your Lumio file onto Twitter or Facebook and say, hey, look what I've created. Here you go. Sharing is caring, right? We want to see what other of our wonderful attendees are doing out there using Lumio. So please share, share, share.
We are so glad you guys were with us. We hope that you will continue to communicate with us. Our email addresses are in the chat as well. So we hope that you will share some of the ideas. We hope we will see your lessons and your examples showing up on social media with those hashtags. I know I learn and discover so much from following amazing teachers like you guys who are using our tool. And again, we hope that you will become one of our smart ambassadors. We would really love to see you in that community.
Thank you so much for joining us.